Okay, so ever feel like, you're kind of stumbling through life's big questions like, what's it all about? What am I even supposed to be doing here? Well, today, get ready because we're diving deep into a system that claims to hold some answers, maybe, the
Yeah.
tarot. But hold on, don't worry. We're not like predicting the future with tea leaves or anything like that. We're going deep, deep, deep into the major arcana. Those 22 powerful cards at the heart of the tarot, our roadmap for this adventure. Liber T, a guide to the Thoth Tarot deck. Get ready to decode some serious symbolism.
Yeah, that's right. Think of the major arcana like these universal archetypes, these fundamental energies that kind of drive the human experience. And what's so fascinating about the Thoth deck, specifically Liberty's interpretation, is how it like seamlessly weaves these cards together with Kabbalah, that ancient system of Jewish mysticism.
Okay, I have to admit, Kabbalah always sounded kind of intimidating to me, like something you'd need a secret handshake to understand. But it's connected to the tarot. Tell me more. I'm hooked.
It totally is. Imagine a map, right? But instead of like countries and cities, it charts this flow of divine energy, through the universe and within ourselves. It's kind of what the tree of life is in Kabbalah. And get this, each major arcana card actually aligns with a specific point on that map. It's like each card is holding a piece of this bigger cosmic puzzle.
Well, okay, that's way more interesting than a secret handshake, I have to say. So we've got these 22 cards, each connected to a Hebrew letter A-N-D, a point on this, like mystical tree of life. Where do we even begin to unpack all of this?
Well, Liberty actually calls the major arcana, and I quote, the foundation for all of one's tarot studies. So it's kind of like learning the alphabet of a whole new language.
Yeah.
And like any good story, it seems fitting to, start at the beginning, right? With the Fool, card number 0.
Right. The
Uh,
Fool. Card number 0, the one with the, carefree dude about to step off a cliff, always makes me a little nervous just looking at it.
That's the beauty of it. Liberty describes the Fool as representing, now get this, breath, spirituality, and that which endeavors to transcend Earth, but it also mentions folly and stupidity. It's about embracing the unknown, that blend of excitement and, yeah, maybe a little bit of healthy fear.
So is Liberty saying the Fool is, like, totally clueless? Or is there something more to this whole blind leap of faith thing?
There's always more to uncover. Remember the tree of life. Well, the Fool, he's linked to Aleph, the first letter of the Hebrew alphabet. And get this, he connects the very top of the tree kether, the crown, pure potential to the sphere of wisdom, Chokmah. It's like this pure, unformed energy taking its very first step into creation.
Okay, so maybe not clueless, but definitely a bit of a wild card, you could say. I'm starting to see how this all connects. So after that initial like leap of faith, where does the journey lead us? Who's next on this wild ride through the major arcana?
Well, every journey needs a guide, right? And who better than the Magus? Card number 1. Liber T says he's all about skill, wisdom, and wait for it, occult power. But then it also throws in deceit and theft. That took me by surprise, I have to admit.
Whoa, talk about a mixed message, right? What's the deal with this Magus character? Should we be trusting him? Or should we watch our wallets?
That's the question, isn't it? That's what Liberty seems to be prompting us to ask. See, the Magdus, he's linked to the Hebrew letter Beth, which means house, and on the Tree of Life, he connects that boundless potential of Kether, remember, with Bina, the seer of understanding. It's like he's channeling that raw energy, giving it form and direction, but that power, it can be used in many ways, right? Some not so savory.
So it's not enough to just have this like raw potential, this fool's energy. We also need to understand how to wield it, right? To use it wisely. Man, this is getting deep.
And we're just getting started. Liberty is chock full of these little nuggets of wisdom. But before we get, too ahead of ourselves, let's bring in another intriguing character, the Priestess, card number 2.
Ooh, the Priestess. Card number 2. She always seems so mysterious, sitting there with her scroll of secrets. What hidden knowledge does she hold, according to Liber T?
Well, Liberty connects the Priestess to the Hebrew letter Gimel, which literally means, get this, camel. An interesting symbol for something that can traverse both physical and spiritual deserts, wouldn't you say? The book describes her as connected to, secrets, hidden things, and mysteries, but it's not about gossiping or, like, hiding things away. She's about accessing this deep, intuitive knowledge.
So not so much a keeper of secrets, but more like a gateway to a different kind of knowing.
Exactly. On the Tree of Life, Gimel and the Priestess, they connect Kether, that crown of pure potential, to Tuferith, which represents beauty and balance. Liberty actually calls her the, and I quote, uniting consciousness. It's like she's showing us how to bridge the gap, right, between our like everyday thoughts and those deeper, more intuitive whispers.
Okay, I think I'm starting to see a theme here. We've got the fool's leap of faith, the magus's power to kind of direct that energy, and now the priestess reminding us to, listen to our intuition along the way. What's next? Is there a love story in this mystical mix?
There is, but it's not your typical love story. It's the Lovers, card number 6, and
Well,
it's way more complex than just hearts and flowers.
okay, I'm intrigued. Liber T calls this card the Lovers, but then it links it to the Hebrew letter Zain, which means sword. That doesn't sound very romantic.
Right. It's about the challenging side of relationships, those moments when we're forced to, make tough choices. Liber T talks about the necessity to choose between paths and the resolution of differences.
So it's about finding harmony, yeah, but also recognizing that sometimes that means making like tough calls, setting boundaries, maybe even walking away. Not exactly the fairy tale romance we might expect, huh?
And yet it's such a vital part of the journey, right? Remember, we're talking about the major arcana here, the big lessons. On the Tree of Life, Zayn and the Lovers, they connect Tifereth, the sphere of beauty, to Bina, the sphere of understanding. It's like Liberty is saying that true love, it requires us to not only connect with our hearts, but to use our minds, to make conscious choices that lead to growth, even if it's painful. What do you think, listener? Does that resonate with you? Have you ever had to make a difficult choice in the name of love?
That's some deep stuff. And speaking of tough lessons, Liber T throws another curveball our way with card number 10, the Wheel of Fortune. Always makes me think of those, like spinning prize wheels at carnivals.
And just like those carnival wheels, life has a way of taking us for a spin, doesn't it? Liber T talks about cycles, change in fortune, even the intoxication of success, but then reminds us that what goes up must come down.
Ooh, I'm sensing a theme here. It's like Liber T is saying, like, don't get too comfortable. Life is constantly changing.
Exactly. And that's not a bad thing. It's about understanding, the cyclical nature of existence. The Wheel of Fortune is linked to the Hebrew letter kaf, which means palm, which suggests an open hand, both receiving and releasing. It's about embracing the ebb and flow of life.
Okay, so we're learning to embrace the unknown, wield our power wisely, listen to our intuition, make those tough choices in love, and now ride the waves of change. What other wisdom does Liber T offer on this journey through the major arcana?
Well, it wouldn't be a true journey without facing our shadows, would it? And that's where card 15 comes, and the devil.
Ooh, okay, things just got real. I have to admit, this is one card that always makes me a bit uneasy. Is Liber T trying to scare us straight?
Not at all. It's about looking at those parts of ourselves we'd rather keep hidden, those shadow impulses that can kind of lead us astray. Liber T, it connects the devil to the Hebrew letter ayin, meaning I, but also to the concept of speech, defaming naming, and the difference between appearances and reality.
So is it about seeing through illusions, both within ourselves and in the world around us?
Exactly. The devil on the Tree of Life, he connects Hod, the sphere of glory and intellect, with the Tifereth, the sphere of beauty and balance. It's like Liber T is saying that our minds can be both a source of enlightenment and a tool for self-deception.
Man, that's deep. Okay, we've covered a lot of ground here. We've journeyed from the fool's first steps to the devil's tempting illusions. What's next on this incredible journey through the major arcana? Is there a light at the end of this tunnel, or are we heading straight for a cliffhanger?
Well, after facing our shadows, wouldn't it be nice to, find a little renewal, a fresh start? That's where we meet the Aeon, card number 20.
The Aeon. Okay, that sounds, I don't know, kind of intense, like something out of a sci-fi novel. What's Liber T have to say about this one?
It is a powerful card, I'll give you that. It represents like this major shift in consciousness. Liber T links it to the Hebrew letter shin, which means, get this, tooth, and describes it as a transforming fire, bringing renewal and the opening of new doors.
Tooth. Okay, that's not what I was expecting. How does a tooth, like, symbolize transformation?
Think about it. What do teeth do? They break things down, right? They help us process, digest, make way for something new. It's that same energy of like letting go of the old to make space for the new. On the Tree of Life, Shin and the Eon, they connect the material world, Melkuth, to Hod, the sphere of intellect and glory.
So it's like taking all those experiences, all those lessons we've learned along the way, and using them to, like, fuel a personal evolution. I'm starting to see how even the seemingly, I don't know, scary cards have this positive potential embedded within them.
Exactly. And it's not just about personal transformation either. Liber T talks about the perpetual consciousness of the aeon, this idea that the universe itself is constantly renewing, evolving.
Wow. So it's like we're part of something much bigger. This is like this ongoing cosmic dance of creation and destruction.
Exactly. And Liber T suggests that by aligning ourselves with this universal energy, we can tap into that power of renewal, step into, a new phase of being.
Okay, I'm getting chills. So we've journeyed with the fool, encountered the magus, listened to the priestess, faced tough choices with the lovers, rolled with the wheel of fortune, confronted our shadows with the devil, and now we're embracing transformation with the eon. Where do we go from here?
Well, after such a powerful transformation, it's only natural to seek, a sense of wholeness, a sense of completion. And that's where we meet the final card of the major arcana, card number 21, the universe.
The universe. Okay, that sounds pretty all-encompassing. What does Liber T say about this grand finale to our journey?
Well, Liber T links the universe to the Hebrew letter Tav, which means mark or sign, and describes it as a representation of synthesis, conclusion, and the end of the matter. It's about recognizing the interconnectedness of everything, that sense of wholeness and completion that comes from integrating all those diverse experiences.
So it's like after all those twists and turns, those moments of joy and sorrow, growth and challenge, we finally arrive at a place of acceptance, of recognizing that it's all part of this grand tapestry.
Beautifully said. And remember how Tav means mark? It's like we've come full circle.
Yeah.
Back to that sense of unity we first glimpsed with the Fool. We've been marked by our experiences, shaped by them, and now we stand complete, ready to embrace, the fullness of who we are.
This is blowing my mind. I never realized how much depth there was to these cards, how Liber T weaves together these different threads of symbolism and meaning.
And remember, we've just scratched the surface. Liber T is full of these rich interpretations, But beyond that, the real magic, it happens when we start to connect these cards to our own lives, to see them reflected in our own experiences.
You mentioned earlier that Liber T says the universe card can represent the person asking the questions in a tarot reading. I've never heard that before, but it's so powerful.
It is. It suggests that we already hold within us everything we need to, find our own answers, to navigate our own paths. The cards are simply tools to help us tap into that inner wisdom.
I love that. It's not about some external force dictating our destiny. It's about accessing the infinite potential that exists within each of us.
Exactly. And that's what's so fascinating about the Thoth Tarot and Liber T's interpretation. It encourages us to think for ourselves, to question, to explore these concepts in a way that, resonates with our own unique journeys.
Okay, before we get totally lost in the vastness of the universe, let's take a step back and revisit something you mentioned earlier, the minor arcana. We've been so focused on the big picture, the archetypal journey of the major arcana, but Liber T also talks about these other cards, right?
It does. If the major arcana represents the main characters in the play of life, the minor arcana is all about the supporting cast, the scenery, the dialogue. It gives us a closer look at the everyday experiences that color our journeys.
So it's like zooming in from the cosmic level to the more personal and immediate. Tell me more. Tell me more.
Well, the minor arcana, it's divided into 4 suits: wands, cups, swords, and discs, each associated with one of the 4 elements: fire, water, air, and earth. Each suit offers a different lens through which to view our experiences.
Okay. I'm intrigued. What kind of everyday experiences are we talking about here? Give me an example. I'm ready.
Let's take wands, for example. Associated with the element of fire, right? They represent our passions, our drive, our creative energy. So imagine you're starting a new project, something you're really excited about. That initial spark of inspiration, that feeling of I can conquer the world, that's pure wands energy.
I can see how that connects to the fiery, creative vibe of wands. But what about the other suits? What kinds of experiences do they represent?
Well, cups, linked to water, they're all about our emotions, our relationships, our intuition. They explore the ebb and flow of our feelings, the depths of our compassion, and the way we connect with others.
So if wands are about action and creation, cups are about feeling and connecting. I like that. What about swords? They sound a little more, I don't know, intense.
Swords associated with air, they represent our minds, our intellects, our communication. They deal with how we process information, solve problems, and, express ourselves to the world.
Okay, so we've got the fire of passion, the water of emotions, the air of intellect. What about the grounding force of earth? That's where discs come in, right?
Precisely. Discs are all about the material world, our work, our finances, our health, those tangible aspects of our lives that kind of keep us grounded and secure. They remind us to, tend to our physical needs to create stability and abundance in the world around us.
This is fascinating. It's like each suit offers a different perspective on the human experience, a different way of understanding those everyday, ups and downs.
Exactly. And within each suit, you have cards numbered ace through 10, plus 4 court cards, page, knight, queen, and king, each adding another layer of detail and nuance.
So if the major arcana gives us the big picture, the archetypal journey, the minor arcana helps us understand how those energies play out in the day-to-day, like a close-up shot of our lives.
You got it. It's like having a conversation with the universe, using these cards as our language.
This is incredible. I feel like we barely scratched the surface,
Mhm.
but in a way that makes me even more excited to keep exploring. What an amazing journey this has been so far. It's like we've zoomed out to see this whole epic movie of our lives with the major arcana. And now with the minor arcana, we're getting those close-up shots, right? The ones that reveal all of the little details, the plot twists, the emotional subplots. I'm ready for my close-up.
Exactly. And just like a good movie needs, a diverse cast of characters, the minor arcana gives us these court cards, each one embodying a different archetype within their suit. Think of them like the supporting characters that add depth and complexity to the story.
Okay, so who are these mysterious court card characters? And what roles do they play in our tarot saga?
Well, let's start with the pages. They're like those, eager messengers full of fresh energy and new ideas. Imagine them kind of bursting onto the scene, bringing news, opportunities, or, maybe even a little bit of mischief. Depends on their suit, of course.
So the pages are like the catalysts, right? The ones who shake things up, get the energy moving. Who comes next in this royal court?
Next, you have the knights, always ready for action. If the pages are the messengers, the knights are the ones who take that message and run with it, full speed ahead. They represent action, drive, and a certain fearlessness in pursuing their goals. They're not afraid of a little challenge.
Okay, so we've got the spark of inspiration with the pages, the energy and drive of the knights who brings in the wisdom and guidance in this court. Who are the mentors?
That would be the queens. They embody that nurturing, supportive energy of their suit. Think of them as the wise counselors, the ones who offer guidance, compassion, and a deep understanding of their element.
The queens sound amazing, like the people you turn to for advice and support. So who rules this tarot kingdom? Who are the kings? Do they wear crowns?
The kings represent mastery, leadership, and the culmination of their suit's energy. They've integrated the lessons of their suit, faced challenges, and emerged as these wise and powerful rulers.
So if we think of each suit as a journey, the kings represent that moment of arrival, right? Like of achieving mastery in that area of life.
Exactly. And what's fascinating is that these court cards, they can represent both internal aspects of ourselves and the external people in our lives. So you might, for example, pull the Queen of Cups and recognize those, nurturing qualities in yourself. Or you might see it as representing a caring friend or mentor.
I love that. It's like these cards are holding up a mirror, right?
Right.
Reflecting back to us not just our own inner world, but also the dynamics of our relationships and the roles we play out there in the world.
And the more we work with these cards, the more those layers of meaning just kind of reveal themselves. Remember what Liber T says, the major arcana is the foundation, but the minor arcana and the court cards, that's where we truly start to explore the nuances of our everyday lives.
It's amazing to me how much wisdom is packed into these, what is it, 78 cards. It's like a whole language for, understanding ourselves and the world around us.
And the beauty of it is it's a language anyone can learn. It's not about memorizing meanings or following, rigid rules. It's about opening yourself to the possibility, to the symbolism, and allowing the cards to kind of spark your intuition.
It's like Liber T is giving us the keys to this incredible treasure chest, but it's up to us to unlock it, to explore its depths and discover the treasures that resonate with our own unique journeys.
I love that. Precisely. It's about asking questions, staying curious, and trusting your own inner wisdom to guide you. You already have everything you need.
Well, listener, we've journeyed from the fool's first step to the mastery of the kings, explored the major and minor arcana, and all through the lens of Liber T. This has been incredible. But remember, this is just the beginning of your own tarot adventure. Pick a card, any card, and see where it leads you. You might be surprised by what you discover. Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep diving deep.